What up, guys? I'm back. Not really. I'm doing this video because years ago I used to do YouTube videos. I think the first one I did was, man, it's been over 11 years. I know. I think the last time I looked at my page, like the very first one, was over 11 years ago. Um, yeah, because I did my first one coming right out of college. So this video is just, I'm gonna give some reasons of why I stopped. I did create a video called Retiring. I haven't watched none of my videos in years. I haven't watched none of them back. I had someone ask me one time, have I ever watched some of my videos back and see if I still agree or if I still like have the same mindset or morality for some of the things I said, but I haven't watched none of them back. So I tell myself I'm gonna eventually do it, but I haven't done it. But one of the reasons I'm doing this video is because sometimes I'm pretty sure they're like accident views. Like I'll get a I'll get a notification saying you had 2 views for probably like a certain amount of few minutes or like seconds, like every now and then. Um, so I was like, well, maybe it's possible that somebody have seen something that I've done, but um, the reason I started when I started doing videos years ago, I didn't start to like do anything for like monetization. I think at the time it was 2013. So at the time, YouTube it wasn't as it is today. Um, I think it's way more popular of people, using it for monetization gain. Um, I didn't I didn't do it for um monetization gain. So the reason I started doing videos is because when I graduated college, I was thinking like I never had social media um, up until that point, and I graduated college pretty late. Like I was a bit older, so I created a Facebook, and I was like, well, I the reason I never the reason I didn't want a social media is because for years, even when I was in high school, I know myself, and I knew that I would be frustrated with things that people post, say, and do because I get like I know me, and I didn't want to see a lot of negativity or a lot of unrighteousness, um, you know, flowing in towards me or seeing it because it bothers me, not just in a way of being angry or frustrated. It saddens me. I don't like to see people because I want people to live their eternity in paradise, and paradise means heaven. So I that's it bothers me. So I don't feel a certain type of sorrow or sadness for people in a way of I hope they get good with God and Jesus Christ. So going into that, so going into God and Jesus Christ, I'm gonna get into that a little bit as well. So when I created my Facebook page, I told myself, I said, I'm gonna try to bring something positive to it. Now, I'm a very especially back then, and especially like the further you go back in my life, the more shy I was, and the more um like yeah, I heard this term when I was in college. I never heard of it until I was a grown man. Mute. I was a mute. I was very introvert. I was always to myself. Not saying that I've had people that I've hung out with and friends and people I talked to, but it wasn't a lot of times it wasn't easy for me to open up or be very close with I value closeness, so I wasn't a person that had a whole bunch of people that I hung out with. I was always very cordial with a whole bunch of people because I never been like the type of person that hold grudges or be mad at people, but I was always like an introvert. So a lot of people were surprised or some people were surprised when I did the videos. So I did the videos because I wanted to bring something positive to social media. And when I say positive, I know a lot of people will say, you know, what makes you positive? I'm just going off of my belief. Um, so I kind of wanted to speak on certain issues. Like maybe I think I'm pretty sure majority of my videos are about um, relationships and marriages, like men and women marriages. Um, because that's always, to me, that's been the thing that I believe, and that is what I believe is the healer of the world, and that's what I believe is the most that's causing the most chaos in the world. And I don't want to elaborate on that. I would have to do a whole video explaining why I believe that. Um, so I was like, I'll do that. I did like a couple of funny videos, like to make people laugh. One of them is titled "You You You Out of Line, You Out of Pocket, You Sorry" or something like that. I haven't looked back. I think okay, so that's why I started making videos, and I created like a YouTube page, and I will post them on there. Now the thing about my videos, they're not edited. They're not. I just cut my camera on the top because I didn't. I still don't. I don't know how to edit, um, or none of those things. So what I realized when I would post my videos, I got discouraged from because I didn't post it to be popular. Because to be honest, I do wish I would have never did it because I'm a very private person. I'm a very I believe in a lot of things, being to myself. Like if I could erase, I can erase all my videos. So I don't want people to say, well, you can't. Yeah, I can, but I know that people can always, because most likely there's something about if you've posted anything on the internet, somebody has took it and they using your photo, your video for something most likely that you probably don't know about. But if I could go back, um, I probably would never. But then people have posted me on their Facebook because one of my homeboys, like when he take pictures now, he still continues to post me, which I don't mind. I know that it means something to him to post, somebody he's close to, so I don't mind at all. Um, but um, I'm a private person. Like I always just wanted to get married, have a family, and just be to myself. But at the same time, I always wanted to be an example to people. That's why I did started on the videos, and I know it can sound like I'm being cocky, like saying bringing righteousness, like I know everything. That wasn't the point. I didn't mind, like I wanted people, because I would do certain things and have certain posts and certain questions on Facebook too, like for interactions. So those are the things that I would do. So I was trying to bring like positivity, or things that just wasn't a certain type of way. Now, my closest friend, he watched one of my videos and he said, it's not me. And I had another young lady before him. She told me, she was like, it's not you. And I think they both had different reasons, but I know what his reason was. His reason was I wasn't being like super dramatic, loud, um, energy, because a lot of people who know me, they only know the quiet or the conservative, laid back me. But people who are close to me knows the energetic, joking. Um, I have a lot of energy. Um, I've always had a lot of energy. Like I've always been a person. Like I can really. I think people can do this if you just. I'm not saying that I'm special, but I'm just saying like I've always been a person that I can turn my energy on. Like even if I don't get no good sleep, if I start doing something that requires my heart rate to be up, I'll be like, oh, I'm good. Like if if I don't get too good of sleep and I just start running, now I'm not saying it's gonna feel the best, but I'll be like, well, I'm running, like we running. So I've always been a very energetic person, but I'm also very dramatic, and I can be what's the word, impulsive. Oh, that's not the word. What is the word? Oh my goodness. I can't think of the word, but the word I'm looking for is a person who's very entertaining, who can draw people in by like either being funny or being loud or saying something that's triggering. I have been that way in my life. Not, and I don't say things that's triggering to bother. I used to do that but I never did it to bother people. But I know, like, some things I used to say, I would know this is going to make this person not going to like this. But I never did it to hurt nobody's feelings or anything like that. But so he told me it wasn't me. And I explained to him, I said, yeah, see, I want to do the videos calm and talking regular because I don't want to draw people in off emotion. I want people to actually listen to what I'm saying because that's the important part. Because I think whenever you get to yelling and you draw people in off their emotion, they don't really get the message. They just enjoy what you're saying. And I always wanted people to take in what I was saying to apply it to their life, um, or to, better themselves. Whether they could disagree with me and I always wanted dialogue. Like I wanted people to watch my videos, leave comments, and I could be like, oh, you know what? Yeah, I am wrong about this. I wanted that because I was trying to be a righteous activist. Kind of, sort of, like when I did it, that wasn't I didn't think of that, but I realized that's what I was doing. I was trying to bring God to the world because that's my belief. And like I said, I'll get back to that. So, Jesus Christ, God is my belief. And I believe that that's the healing of the world. That is love. Love is an action. Love is a choice. So I was doing videos and that's why I would do it. So what really caused me to stop is one, just working. And then I would work and then I would try to think of stuff. And also probably because I try to do things too great. Like if I do a video, I might delete it or it's just be things about it that I didn't like. Or that I'd be like, oh, I missed this point or because I just used to, a lot of times I would just talk. And then sometimes like some videos, not most of them, but a couple, like some of the videos I had like a bullet point paper, like just with the bullet. But a lot of things about me is the thing about my mind is when I think about something sometimes, like what I want to say, it flows so great. And then by the time I go to record something or do it, I forget certain stuff. Not forget it, but I don't say it in the video, so I miss it or I skip it. Like I won't. So that's one thing. It's no different than like when you thinking you want to approach somebody or you want to talk to somebody about something and it doesn't go the way it goes in my head. And that's one thing about me. Like the older I've gotten, and it's not really where it is, but it's just more of me just using my brain to think. I believe I've become better at being able to use my words and describe things better, and be able to say things because a lot of times a lot of things just be in my head and I'll be like boom, but when I say it might not come. So yeah, that would happen a lot. So I just kind of got that kind of bothered me. Then just topics, trying to think of topics to do. But the main reason I stopped, one of the main reasons I stopped is I didn't think I was getting through to anybody. I did have a young lady who reached out to me, or she inboxed me and she was like, she said my videos really made her like think, and she wanted to, really, start doing things right. And I had a guy that I went to school with up to my freshman year in high school before I transferred, that he inboxed me as well and was like, man, your videos are dope. They good, and I appreciate that. I did appreciate that. But I just, when I started looking at certain things, like one thing I noticed, like if I post a video, you got your people that you're friends with on Facebook, and they would like, let's just say they post a video of a celebrity talking about like a certain topic, and I'd be like, man, I talked about that topic or I touched on something like that in a video that I did. And I'm not saying that they would agree, or anything like that, but you know, when I realized like I'm not a person like I'm not aiming to be famous, um, and I understand that certain things influence people. People are influenced by power, and power comes in. So everybody has a form of power. So a person being a celebrity, which is a person who's well known, or famous, or popular, being well known, most people will grasp to listen to them first, or if this person has this or that, or just certain things. And I was like, well, I'm not going, that's not some. So I was like, and then another thing that discouraged me was one thing I realized about, if you're ever trying to start a business or start something, you have to get people outside of your circle to like it. So what I mean by that is, you have your family, you have your friends. You can't depend on them to help push what you're trying to push. So if I put a video out, I can't depend on my family or my friends to share it and say, hey, can you guys, I can't depend on that. How you get popular is somebody outside of that be like, hey, this person right here is this, or I liked it. That's how you do that. Because a lot of times, especially with me doing videos, like, and because I'm a person, like I told you, I'm not really a person of small talk, or um, I believe in like very intimate and meaningful conversations on top of, the time that I spend with people. Like, it means something to me, even if we just um, watching a sport, or even if we just conversing. We go somewhere, it means something to me, and it's meaningful. So I think a lot of people who know me to a certain level, and a lot of people who know, this is one thing about it. There's I'm very like, it's hard to know me, because a lot of people think I don't think I'm complex, but so when I say know me, I think a lot of people who are like cool with me, or who I probably can talk to, take whatever, they didn't really care to watch my videos, because they looked at it like, I know more I know where he stands, and I know what he believes. But that's not necessarily true. I might say something that me and you have never discussed, or I might say something like, or I might say something that we did discuss and I thought about it and I went, stuff like that. It's very hard, like, and that's another thing I was explaining to my friend when he said the video wasn't me. A lot of people don't understand that the calm me is me. It's very much so me. It's when I have my clearest head. It's when I make my best decisions. Um, it's more to me than just the loud me, or the funny side of me. Just like there's more to me than the the shy side, the introverted side. Like, I have a well-roundedness about me, but the thing about me is most people only see one side of me. So a lot of people see I'm to myself. Like, that's how majority of the world probably would, I would say, that know of me, probably see me, and that is very true about me. But there's always more to a person. So, but I think a lot of my friends, they probably just knew what I was gonna say, and then I was saying, like, I never looked at it and said or thought, man, my friends not supporting me, and got upset. I never looked at it that way. Cause one thing about me is I'm not mad at nobody for not wanting to hear what I have to say. That's their decision. I can't be mad about that. Um, not upset about it at all. Um, and one time, this guy I went to college with, he watched my video. He inboxed me, and he said, he was like, man, you a trip, man. I think it was the funny video I did. I think. And um, I was like, hey, can you share it? I should, I felt so bad for asking him to do that, because I was like, what if he don't want that on his page? You know? Um, So I shouldn't have asked him to do that, because I should allow him to do it. Like if he wanted to share it, because it's kind of like one of those things where he'll probably feel guilty if he told me I don't want to share it, and I wouldn't have got mad if he would have told me that. But I know people, when you're dealing with people, you gonna think with the majority, how the majority will respond. You gonna think, oh, he gonna be upset. I wouldn't have been upset, but I was upset at myself that I asked him that. So I wish I should have never asked him that. Like I should have just been like, ah, man, I appreciate you watching the video, which I did tell him that. Like, I appreciate. Anytime somebody responded watching my video, I was like, thank you, I appreciate it. Um, but um, just an update on me. Like, I'm still here. I'm still here. But you know, I actually recorded this video, not this video you seeing, but I recorded a video like with this topic of update. I recorded like two of them, and I think both of them was like, it took me a while to do them, and I was like, I just scratched it, because a lot of times like I don't want to say be in my bubble, because like I said, I want to be an example to the world. Like I said, I want to show people that families is the healing of the world by the way that is constructed. Um, Though I might not never have a family. I might not never. Well, now I wasn't going to even express that, but I don't have. but, but I mean that I've created. That's what I mean by that. But so yeah, I that's why I dreaded making a video and putting it, because I was like, well, I'm kind of off. As I'm off social media, my Facebook is deactivated. I I had a cool couple of years on there, when I used it, probably a little bit more than a couple of years, and then like I probably deactivated for a year or two, and then go back to it for like maybe a few days, a week, so that's at jail, whatever, and then I deactivated it again. Um, I'm not a big social media person. I think social media is a great invention. I just don't, you know, when you give people power, which social media is powerful because everybody has a voice, everybody can comment, everybody can say what they want to say. When you give people power, how they handle it really matters. Um, and that's the thing. The people that are in position of power, they have, and when I say people, like a lot of times you say that, people think of like, oh, the people with money, politicians. No, I mean like even just a regular person. Like if you're a parent, you have children, you're in a position of power. You have authority over your children, and the way you use that authority, it matters. It could be just two. It could be a man and a woman, or two people who dating, or somebody trying to date one like the other more. So the one who like the one who's more liked is has the power, and the way and those everybody has a form of power. I don't care how much you think you have it, and it's so many different ways to have power in life. So that's what I mean by that. So how you use your power, it says a lot about your character, um, and things like that. So social media is very powerful, and everybody has a form of power when you use social media with your words, with things you post, things you say, do, whatever. Even if somebody reach out to you and you don't respond, that's for like these things. And so when people get power, a lot of times they might not do the righteous thing with it. So that's why I'm not big on having social media. I just don't like to see a bunch of things that are ungodly. Even though like I do watch a lot of YouTube. I watch a lot of people on YouTube. Um, because I do like to keep up with what's going on in the world and understand, you know, what people like to do, so I don't want to be lost. Um, I don't want to be somewhere and not be able to either know what's going on, be able to defend myself, like be on my P's and Q's, or be able to survive. So I always stay in tune with certain things about the world, because you want to survive. I just don't participate and I might not participate with a lot of things, or I might not indulge, or I might not do, or I might disagree with things, things like that. But I do, look at certain things and be like, oh, okay, this is what people do here now, or people like this here. And I also use it to, to expand my knowledge. There's a lot of knowledge on social, well, not, I'm not on social media, but there's a lot of knowledge on YouTube and social media. There's people who, I'm not saying everybody on social media is bad. That's not my point. I'm not even saying nobody on social. I'm just saying from my perspective, even though they're, but that's just why I'm not really on any social medias. But yeah, I never did this to, like, around that time. Like I said, people wasn't really as big on YouTube. But maybe if I would have started like around now or a few years ago, a lot of times people, but I didn't do it to try to get money off. Now, it would have been nice. And I actually had a young lady that I went to college with, reach out to me and was like, this guy I'm with does this, and I can help you like monetize your videos and but we never like really had a following up. Like, we had a few messages. I think she put it in one of my comments on my videos. I'm not sure. Or like, YouTube used to have a thing where you could separately like message people, but I don't think they have that anymore. I think now you just have to like look and see if their email is on there or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, she had messaged me that, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. But I didn't do it for money. Not saying I wouldn't, but I did it because I wanted to be, I want to help the world. Um, but this is what's crazy. I'm glad I didn't stop this video before I said this. This is the main thing. When I said the reason I stopped doing it is because I didn't feel like I was getting through to people. One thing that, and I've always knew this about myself, but like I said, the older and like the more I think and become like learn things about, what I learned is I'm not an influential person. I'm not a salesman. Like, I would be a terrible salesman. And being that I'm not very influential and things of that nature, and I'm not a salesman, that affects you in every form of life. Like when you go on interviews, when you trying to date someone, just anything that you do where you got to have some type of convincing to somebody, or impression to a certain degree. I'm not high on that pole, because one thing about me, I don't have manipulating tactics. Like, I'm just kind of, I ain't kind of, I'm a straight shooter. I'm direct. So the reason I would be a terrible salesman, like, let's just say I was a person that sell a product, and I wanted to, and I'm telling the person about the product. If they say, but does it have this, and it don't, I'll be like, no, it don't. No, it don't have this. I might, if it has something else, I might throw it on there. But I'm not a person that, I don't like to do things to manipulate people's mind to convince them. Now, I do want to convince you to do right things. I'm not saying I don't want to convince, but I don't want to do it in a manipulating way. I just want to do it in a way of, hey, this is what I believe, or this is what I think, boom, boom, boom. Like, I don't want to, that's just not, I don't really have those thoughts when I approach anything. Like, I don't have the thoughts to think, oh, what can I say to make this person, do this. I'm either just gonna ask, or I'm gonna say what is on my, what's in my mind. So, but I realize I'm not a very influential person. And when I was, I thought about it, I thought out throughout my life, and I kind of have felt like in my life, I actually had negative influence on people, because some people that I met in my life, I kind of felt like, or I see, sometimes I thought about it, and I was like, man, I think after our encounters, it seemed like some of the things they did, they became like more towards, unrighteousness at times, dealing with certain people. And I'll be honest, it was women. It wasn't, I'm not talking about guys. I'm just talking about women. But yeah, I'm not a very influential person. Like I don't have a high level of influence on people. So I realized that about myself. Um, so so that's another reason I was like, well, I'm not very influential because polar. I think that is the word, polarizing. I can't be. No, don't get it twisted. If you know, I can't be very, but I didn't want to bring that to trying to make somebody be righteous because I think whenever you have the hooting and hollering and shouting them, it's just, oh, you right, but I wanted people to listen and be like, no, what man, I'm gonna do that better. I'm gonna get better at that. Oh, that and I wanted to make it like conversation, like somebody can comment and be like, hey, I disagree with you here. And then I probably could come back with another video and be like, hey, this person said this. I'll tell them what I think about it. I'll be like, you know what, you was correct. I was wrong about this. Or I'll be like, hey, I disagree with that, and this is why. I kind of want to do that because when I would post videos, sometimes I would get on Facebook and ask like, hey, what's a topic that you guys think is like one of the biggest troubles of the world or things that need to be, but I wouldn't get no responses and no comments and things of that nature. So I was just like, okay, I just stopped, doing this. This is not, helping anybody. And that was my whole goal, was to help people. But if you watch this all the way through, man, I much appreciate it. Well wishes to everyone. God and Jesus Christ is first in my life. And every day I aim to be a better person, to be more righteous. But thank you guys.